I'm sorry I missed Mincha.
Good to see you. Well, I asked your father about you. Look at my boy. On the walk of Maldos. All those that arrive back on the scene in the summer. Baruch atov b'vayecha. Some favorite teachers. Baruch atov b'sodeh. Baruch atov b'yir. You should be like your bench. You should be with a bracha blessed b'sodeh out in the countryside, in the villages, in the small suburbs. And Baruch atov b'yir. For like your bench in Ba'ir, in the metropolis, in the big cities. So some says that each locale, every shchune, every neighborhood has a maile. He said, Basodeh has a maile that the Adam Lachaveroi is somehow more b'ni'imus. There's a pleasantness about small town living. And a certain serenity, and the Sefer Panim Yavis is more motzui, that you greet someone, each other with a warm welcome, a warm smile. So the Adam Lachaveroi is somehow on a higher level than in the city. In the city, Mr. Fayok, everybody's busy, the pressures of living in a big city, so somehow it makes it difficult to really have that cheerful countenance. On the other hand, the city has a big maile, that it's in a concentrated yishuv from Talmidei Chachamim, from Torah scholars, an area where there's, in the streets, it marches forth an atmosphere of sanctity, a spiritual atmosphere, ruchnius, Torah. So the Torah tells us Baruch Atah, so that we should be successful and reach that level. We should have both midas. We should have the advantage of the Beilam Chaveroi, to man and manage. It should be on a high level, and also Beilam Lamokim, between a man and the Rabbanish level, should be on a high level. So now that we have our city dwellers are here, so we have both now. We have the Beilam Chaveroi from all your residents, and we have the added, which we're very grateful for. Ben Azai Oimer. Ben Azai says, Heverot Lemisvikale, that you should pursue what we think is a minor mitzvah. You should rather pursue it, to seize the opportunity to do what we think is a minor mitzvah, and to do everything we can to not get in the clutches of sin, of Avera. Mitzvah, because one mitzvah brings in its trail another mitzvah. If you do one mitzvah, Avera, if you do a good deed, so it brings you to do other good deeds. Avera. And if you, heaven forbid, if you fall into the clutches and you stray from the path, you do Avera, so that it leads you down the path to destruction. The Torah cautions us about the observance of mitzvahs, that you shouldn't add. The way the Rebbeinu Shalom gave us Hashem, He gave us a mitzvah, don't add to it. Exactly the way it was given, that's how you observe it. if you do, so you're not fulfilling the mitzvah, the commandment. It's not, sigru, and you shouldn't detract, do less than the prescribed amount, the way the mitzvah was handed from Sinai. Sigru, you shouldn't do less, we understand, because then if it has to have a certain measurement, a certain quantity, and a certain number of whatever it is, and it's missing, so then you didn't fulfill the mitzvah. But if someone adds, he wants to beautify it, he wants to show his enthusiasm, he wants to do even more than the mitzvah requires, so what could be wrong with it? Dubner Magid said a very clever parable, a clever mashal. A man came to Shochem, to neighbor his. He knocked on the door, and he said, "Could you do me a favor?" He says, "My wife is making something, and we need a spoon." Minor request like that, how can you say no? So he quickly runs to the drawer and gives a spoon, and he goes. The next day, or 2 days later, he comes back, he says, "Mazel tov, the lefel kata lefele." This teaspoon gave birth to another spoon, so here you gave me one, here's two of them. It's a moment, he looked at him like he's insane. Whoever heard of a spoon giving birth? But the Welt sagt, if somebody gives you something, you don't ask the question, you take it. A couple of days later, he comes and he says, "My wife needs a pot, a tepel." All right? So he gives him the pot. A day later, he comes back, he says, "Mazel tov, the tepel got a tepele." The pot gave birth to another pot. Don't ask any question. So he takes the two pots. A couple of days later, he comes knocking on the door. He said, "I'm having a very special guest, and we want to set the table very fancy. Would you have a candelabra that we could use for the night, for the day? So some kind of nice silver candelabra." So he thought to himself, he said, "Now let him be crazy. What do I care? I'll really reap from this mishigas. I'll really make profit. I'll come back the next day. He'll bring me two very fancy candelabras." He runs as fast as he can, and he gives him the life of the candelabra. Takes it, and Netzach HaBeitel, he's waiting anxiously. The one who gave him he's waiting to get back two of them. A day passes, and 2 and 3, and he doesn't see him anymore. He's getting nervous. But, they say, a gifted horse, you don't look in the mouth, look at his teeth. So he wanted to be nice about it. So he thought, he'll have patience. He felt sure, certainly he'll bring it back. But still, he was a little bit concerned. It's something very valuable, expensive. So he thought to himself, I'll make some kind of excuse that I'm passing the neighborhood, and I want to save him the trip. So he knocks on the door. So he says, "Yeah, how are you? What can I do for you?" He looks at him, "What can I do for you?" He loaned him an expensive candelabra. "What can I do for you?" He said, "Well, I was passing the neighborhood, and I think I'll save you the trip to come to bring you back to me. So I figure I'll stop you, give me back my candelabra that I loaned you, my laughter." "Oh," he says, "you wanted it back." He says, "I don't want to be a bearer of bad tidings. I don't want to bring a besurah. But I'll tell you the truth. The candelabra was giving birth, died in childbirth." So he says, here he gets angry, excited. He says, "You mishuggin, are you? You idiot, are you crazy? Who ever heard of a candelabra giving birth and dying in childbirth?" So he says, "Rabbi, excuse me. if a level can have a lefele, and a temple can have a tepele, the spoon can have another spoon, a pot can have another pot, a candelabra can die in childbirth. So in other words, if it will be in our hands, and we can take a mitzvah and do what we wanted, today we'll add, tomorrow we'll detract from the mitzvah. Besides which, it shows us that we think that there's something lacking in the way the Almighty Baruch gave us a mitzvah. He gave us a mitzvah. The way He gave it to us, it doesn't have to be perfected, doesn't have to be changed, doesn't have to be altered, doesn't have to be modified. Nothing has to be done with it. Exactly the way it was given, that's how we have to keep the mitzvah. Chanan ben Akash Omer, Gotzah, HaKadosh Hu, Zakis, Es Yisrael, the Tzvikah, Hibbelam Terah Mitzvah, Shenamar,